For me, my church, temple, monastery, sanctuary, meditation mat, panic room, escape, muse, and overall authentic and personal safe space is while I'm riding my motorcycle. Einstein played his violin, Ricky Johnson raced motocross. I look up to both, and both have stated great insights have come to them from the total all-consuming manipulation of a machine. That process of complete occupation of both the body and its mechanical mind freed up for them their authentic self to finally truly come through unencumbered and unfiltered. Problems could be solved in mere moments in that space, and new ideas could be created and captured. I think I know what they mean, and I'll bet you do too. Some people say they do their best thinking while on the toilet or while in the shower. Mine is from the saddle of my bike. It's honestly my sacred space. I was shocked to find out how important long, uninterrupted links of time in the saddle actually was to me, and it got me to thinking how riding solo can actually open you to possibilities you wouldn't otherwise have. How special riding alone really is, and how that realization might help you as well. As you probably know, I just finished a fantastic week-long trip with my cousin Josh. I'll put a link to that video series in the description. It was great riding with him again after 15 years. I love riding with him and others, for example, people like my cousin Marty, and my brother from another, Hank. There's something comforting you only get when riding with family and friends, something you can't get when traveling alone. Many times, arguably a majority, the world is best when shared. I don't need to go into the positives of riding with buddies, I think we all get it. That's not what this video is about. Riding with others is special and a great aspect of this sport. However, riding alone should not be overlooked. It's truly a yin-yang situation. Yes, its significance is much more subtle, maybe even overlooked and potentially totally missed by most of us. It sure was by me. But I think its importance shouldn't be overlooked, and it truly can be potentially life-changing. Let's start with the basics. When riding alone, you dictate the flow of the ride, and you can do what you want and when you want. Sounds great, doesn't it? You can stop anywhere or anytime, or ride as long or as far as you want. Pretty basic interpretation, I know. You can ride as fast and as slow as you want, riding that perfect crest of the bell curve of what you find comfortable and enjoy the most. Spending long, extended times being alone in your own head, well, there's no place to hide. Riding alone is a mirror to yourself. If you're depressed, you'll know it. If you're happy or content, you'll know that as well. If you have something to work out, this is the space to do it. The beauty of it all is no one is going to pull in the driveway and knock on your door. Turn that cell phone off and you're completely isolated in an undisturbable cocoon of motion and energy, like the nucleus of a moving atom of sorts or a whirling thought form getting ready to take on the shape of its new identity and creation. We can reinvent ourselves while riding. I've said it many times before, you can find yourself from the saddle of a bike. I think this is more true than most of us realize. I know it surprised me. For me, a massive reason to ride alone is the world opens up to you in ways you can't even currently imagine. Really, our world is set up more like a favorite television series than any of us realize. If you allow it and put yourself out there, the world will present you with a new adventure around every corner. It's like a yellow brick road is laid out for you to follow. Maybe it's a yellow-lined road or a yellow ribbon trail or track. But you'll be amazed how the universe will begin to unfold itself and present you with opportunities and chance meetings with people or situations you can either pursue or move on from. We've all played adventure games on the computer. The world really is like that. Your motorcycle brings you out of your village and into the frontier of your own world, and starts introducing you to characters who can send you on a life quest if you want to follow. Riding alone on a motorcycle, you'll be amazed at the people you'll meet and the adventures you'll have. It's pretty crazy. I've shown a few of my adventures on this channel with people I never would have met otherwise, and I intend to show even more. Stay tuned. It's in these moments, out in the unknown, since you're truly alone and don't have any of the baggage associated with someone else around you who might pass their own judgment on a person or situation, a judgment you might not share or even want to follow, but one that will still nonetheless color your experience of the situation, creating an entirely different outcome. I've been there with that, wishing I would have come across a particular situation without so-and-so around to block my experience. I think we all get that one. Maybe you're married and your buddy is single, or the other way around. That can pose issues as to what one person might want to pursue while the other one does not, creating missed opportunities and potential regrets. None of us need more regrets. Being alone has allowed me to be my authentic self, or free to act however I wanted in a particular moment, allowing me to take journeys I could only take without the company of someone who knows me from other aspects of my life. Again, we all get put into these personality boxes from our past relationships, and the person you're with might only know one aspect of your true self and not the other part which is currently trying to come through at the moment. People like to stay in their comfort zone, and your buddy might feel uncomfortable in the current situation and try to sabotage what is currently happening just so they can get back to something familiar. You don't need to be blocked on your adventure if you're wanting to pursue something out of the realm of what your buddy thinks is your normal self. I've had that experience too many times to count, and that's one of the reasons why I primarily ride solo, to keep the world open and unfiltered. Riding my motorcycle alone has introduced me to people who I never would have met otherwise, and it has given me experiences and adventures I wouldn't trade for anything. Experiences I will remember for the rest of my life. For many people, we live in a time where, if we want to, we can limit any true sense of adventure to whatever level we wish. That's a pretty new concept. We can stay at home and at work and never get out of our comfort zone and experience anything truly new, and that's totally okay. There's nothing wrong with living a totally isolated and safe life. However, I think most of us here are a bit of a wandering soul and would agree life is about adventure, something I think gets forgotten or shelved away in this day and age. Another one of the most important aspects of life's journey, I have found anyway, is all about recognizing flow and having the ability to feel that flow state in its purest form helps us set a foundation for us to return to that mindset and flow state again while surrounded by other aspects of our lives. That's huge. At its core, riding alone really is a long-form version of meditation. Sure, it might not be what we think of as a traditional meditative practice, but really it is, or can be if we recognize it as that. So feel free to add that to your resume. A meditation expert. Exposure to that meditative flow state is more of an opportunity for us to grow than many of us realize. Being conscious of whether we're in a flow state, basically if we're either flowing with life or fighting against it, will not only improve our own self-growth as a person, but will benefit the external life we've created for ourselves here in this place and time. We all know, or eventually learn, fighting life can lead to bad life choices and bad decisions. Building that meditative foundation in our life will help us immensely in other aspects of our lives by allowing us to recognize a personal center to our psyche, giving us a place to make decisions from that come from the heart and soul rather than ego-driven knee-jerk reactions. If we could learn to be the calm in the midst of chaos, well, that's a skill we could all use. Saddle time will definitely help with that. I'm sure we can all look back at decisions we've made in life wishing cooler heads would have prevailed. Riding alone helps give us that skill set. Personally, I think that's huge. I actually came across this insight concerning flow state out of some personal recent struggles with this channel. I know some of my videos aren't as comprehensive in the footage department as many other channels out there, taking the extra time to set up cameras on the road or launch a drone to follow me around. As I've stated before, I'm out here trying to have an authentic personal experience, not trying to present the illusion of one. I do my best to keep the moment I'm experiencing as pure as I can, with the hopes I'll have enough footage to share and accurately convey the experience with you at some point. I honestly do my best for both our sakes. However, writing is my sanctuary. I found it was quite difficult for me to keep the mental momentum I gain while writing, all while keeping cameras rolling, mentally processing the needs of the videos in advance, or even dealing with something from my regular life. I especially began to notice the struggle out while writing alone, how distant my mindset gets while writing, and how detached from the structure and requirements of the regular world. I would mentally crash and almost resent anything that I felt was trying to take away the benefits of my ride. However, that struggle turned into a gift when I finally realized the power of riding alone really has. I always knew it was my relaxing and problem-solving mind space, but I didn't realize how much more it could be. I finally learned how to take that state with me when off of the bike, and that opened up a whole new world entirely. A world I would have never been introduced to if I didn't ride my bike alone. There's a certain peace you only achieve when riding alone. Feel free from distractions and personality roles we all unconsciously assume when we're with others. It's worth keeping these aspects of life in mind next time you're out for a ride, as that time in the saddle might be more precious than we realize at the time. Enjoy it to your core and learn to carry that flow state over to other parts of your life. I think you'll be glad you did. Well, that's it for this video. I'll make a volume 2 here soon, as there's way more benefits to riding alone than I could put together into one video, so more coming soon. Thanks for hanging out today. Leave a comment as to what works for you riding alone, and if you'd like to hit that like button and subscribe, well, I'd really appreciate it. It really does help. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you soon.